Welcome to the Sleep Dives channel. A lot of us finish Donella Meadows' Thinking in Systems, put it on the shelf, and feel like we've got it. But what if I told you that some of the most powerful tools in the entire book are hiding in plain sight, right at the end? We're diving into those final sections, the keys that unlock the book's true potential, turning it from a guide into a lifelong toolkit for seeing the world differently.
Before we get started, let's just pause on this idea from Kenneth Boulding, someone Meadows herself really respected. He said that systems thinking isn't just a method, it's a point of view. Think about that for a second. It's not just a new technique, it's a completely new lens that changes what you're even capable of seeing and understanding in the first place. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a tour of these powerful but often skipped final sections. We'll start with the blueprint of the models, then learn the language they're actually written in. After that, we'll see how to use the index as a map to connect ideas, and finally we'll follow the treasure map Meadows leaves for us for all of our future learning.
Okay, first up, let's pop the hood and look at the engine room of the book, the model equations that power every single system diagram we've been studying. And this is a really crucial point. Every feedback loop, every system archetype we've looked at, it's not just a nice drawing or a fuzzy concept. Behind each one is a bedrock of mathematics. They are grounded in concrete, replicable models, and that's precisely what gives them their power and their rigor.
This slide just perfectly captures that bridge between intuition and logic. On the left, you got the simple diagram of a thermostat system that we can all instantly get, right? But on the right, you see the model equation, the precise mathematical logic that defines that system's behavior. They might look like they're from different planets, but they are two languages describing the exact same reality. One is for understanding, the other is for precision.
Now, at first glance, I know those equations can look a little intimidating, but the language of these models is surprisingly straightforward once you get the basic grammar down. So let's decode one together.
We'll use this simple bank account model from the appendix. It's a perfect example because it shows a basic reinforcing feedback loop. The kind that leads to exponential growth. It's something we can all wrap our heads around.
All right, so first up is the stock. This is simply the thing you're measuring, the amount of something at one specific moment in time. In this system, the stock is just the amount of money sitting in your bank account. It's the system's memory of where it's at right now.
And then you have the flow. That's what makes the stock change over time. It's the action in the system. And in this example, the flow is the interest added. It's the money literally flowing into your account and making that stock bigger.
And this slide just lays it out in plain English. You start with the money you already had. You figure out the interest you've earned. You add that new interest to the old amount. And voila, that's your new larger balance. That complex-looking equation is just a very formal way of saying something incredibly obvious. It really is that simple.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about our next tool, the index at the back of the book. It's not just some boring list of words. It's actually a powerful conceptual map for making connections across the entire body of work.
So imagine you're wrestling with a really complex question like this one. You probably remember reading about both of those concepts, but how do they really fit together? How can the book itself help you build a deeper, more connected understanding?
Well, you'd use the index. You'd quickly flip to the sections on both ideas. You'd see that bounded rationality is all about how we make decisions with incomplete information. And then you'd see that the tragedy of the commons happens precisely because of this. Each person acts rationally from their own limited viewpoint, totally unaware of the collective damage they're doing. The index lets you snap those two critical ideas together.
So the real mental shift here is to stop seeing the index as just a reference list and start seeing it as an active tool. I mean, when was the last time you actually used a book's index to connect big ideas? This is your invitation to do just that, to follow your curiosity, forge your own path, and build a much richer, more networked understanding of systems.
And finally, we get to the treasure map Meadows leaves for us, the notes and bibliography. These sections point to the whole wide world of systems thinking and invite us to keep the journey going.
The bibliography isn't just a list of sources. It's a who's who of systems thinking. It's basically an invitation to explore the work of the absolute giants on whose shoulders this book stands, from the founder of system dynamics, Jay Forrester, all the way to ecologists like C.S. Halling.
And hey, if you've ever read one of the stories or facts in the book and thought to yourself, wait, where did that come from? Well, the notes section is your behind-the-scenes guide. It gives you the context and the direct sources, adding this whole other layer of depth and credibility to everything.
So, how do you put all this into practice? Think of it like a four-step process. You start with a puzzle.
You use the index to find the relevant parts of this book. You check the appendix to see the actual structure of the model, and then you explore the bibliography to see what other brilliant minds have to say. It's a path from a simple question to a profoundly deeper understanding.
The real practical application here isn't just one single tip. It's a complete shift in mindset. These final sections are designed to empower you. They're meant to transform you from someone who's just read a book into an active systems thinker who uses this work as a base camp for your own intellectual adventures.
So, there you have it. We've seen the blueprints in the equations, the toolkit in the index, and the treasure map in the bibliography. All the tools you need are right there. The only question left is, what system in your world will you explore first?